So we are officially live, IG and YouTube, so you can find us at both. So I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm getting used to everything if I'm looking at one over the other. And I feel like I need to speak louder. I feel like I want to see my volume, increase a little bit more, right? But I don't want to shout. So hopefully you all can hear me very well. Hopefully this is working really well. But anywho, I'm Tosh. I am Diva Styles, or I should say, my business is named Diva Styles Beauty Bar, simply known as Diva Styles. We have Diva Styles Beauty Bar, we have Diva Styles 2, and we also have GG28 Boutique, which is a hair bundle boutique that we have in the same building right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the university area near UNC Charlotte, if you're new to Charlotte, if you're not familiar with the area, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and dive right in because I don't want to make this too long, and I want to make sure that, I don't wear myself out either because we have things to get done tomorrow, and right now we are close to 9 p.m. So I went on and took a few notes beforehand, and to let you know, like this, even though like it's not like super done up and it's not super glam, right? I mean, it's kind of glam. You got Chanel on, you can't go wrong with Chanel. These are from Nordstrom and all that. So you heard about that if you listened to the first one or watched the first one, right? So but we want to add a little bit of style too. We don't want to show up in our jammies or show up in our sweats, and if we do, we want to make sure that we kind of like jazz it up a little bit. So I have like a bling flat on. I thought I might wear my Karl Lagerfelds, but I was like, nah, that would have been cool. I didn't think about that because he did design for Chanel. But anyway, so anyway, I have my sweater, I have like a nice little vest on, and I will get back to them in a little bit. So interruptions, right? So the first segment, we went over the introduction. So I introduced myself, right? And I know my mic is a little bit close, but I'm trying to make sure that you all can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. So anyway, I want this to be interactive. I know I'm doing a video. I know I'm doing this a podcast style. So you can't like talk back to me right away. Eventually, it'd be great to have you all be able to call in. And so we get to talk live, right? All right. So let's dive in. What is the name of our show? This is Diva Styles TV, but this is called Respect the Business. And so we went over what that means in the first segment, which is our intro. And Respect the Business is just basically this podcast bringing together clients or customers, if you will, so the public view and the beauty professional viewpoints and merging them, right? Getting understanding, clarity. There you go. We're getting some clarity as to what what each side thinks, knows, believes. Maybe we need to kind of tweak some mindsets, right? Because people have their own mindsets, and maybe it's not completely accurate. So here is a safe space that we want to make sure that is positive, and positive vibes and positive energy and positive feedback. And even if when you have to tell someone that maybe they're not quite right in that area, we can do it in a loving and respectful way, right? So we're not getting ratchet, we're not getting crazy, we're not getting disrespectful with one another, live or in the comments and chat, right? So on that note, I want you to be able to comment, chat, whatever platform, inbox, put it on the post, what have you. Again, keep everything nice and positive, and so we're all able to learn and feel like we're in a safe space to know the information that we need to know to move forward on both sides of the spectrum, right? All right, so today's topic, as you might have already seen, is when to fire clients. Yes, you heard me right. When to fire clients. And you're probably like, wait, why would I want to do that? I need clients. I need money. I'm trying to build my clientele. While that is true, we cannot, as beauty professionals, be doormats, right? And I know for a fact, I said it in my previous segment, that we compromise a lot as beauty professionals, right? Whether you do brows, whether you do lashes, whether you do makeup, whether you do styling, as far as wardrobe styling, whether you do decor styling, whether you do hair, whether you do lips or body contouring. body or augmentations of some sort. We do, that's getting more into the medical field, but we do so much compromising. Oh, my kid got sick, I can't make it in. Oh, I forgot I had to go to whatever. Oh, my boyfriend's taking me out. He didn't tell me. I'm sorry, I got to cancel. Just all of these different things that we as professionals can't help because it's coming from the side of the client, the customer, right? The public. And so we want to help each side understand how to operate in those spaces better, right? When those scenarios come up. So I would love to hear from you. What do you do? Someone cancels, someone is a habitual canceler, a habitual rescheduler. What do you do, right? What is your protocol? Do you have a protocol, right? What does that look like? Do you just say, "Oh, hey, girl, no problem. Hey, dude, no problem. Hey, man, I'll see you next time." And then you just, see them next time, whether you do nails or feet, hands and feet, whether you do facials or what have you. You're a masseuse. What do you do in those instances? Do you just kind of like let it roll off your back and say, "I'll see them next time," or "Hey, whatever"? Or do you have guidelines and parameters to where the person is responsible for, say, a cancellation fee or a no-show fee or a late fee or what have you? Those are the things I would love to know from you. And then we'll go back at another time once we have some feedback, and then we can expand upon that. Right. So right now we're just putting the information out there, and then you all can think about it and then get back to us, and then we can talk about it some more, right? In a more in-depth conversation. And also I would love to have some beauty professionals that are able to come on live, whether via phone or in person, so that we can go over some things together. It would be so fun, and it would be so interactive, and just so that we all learn from one another, right? So we went over our topic, when to fire clients. Want to hear from you. What does that look like? But let's talk about boundaries. So I know with Diva Styles, what I do, and I would love to know what you all do and what your thought process is. But I have a late cancellation fee. I don't have a late fee, but I have a late cancellation fee. I take that back. I do have a late fee depending on how late it is. And sometimes I implement it, sometimes I don't. Like I came in on a Sunday recently, and I don't even know why I bothered to answer this question or about this text message, but I did. And so I ended up coming on into a system. I had no intentions of doing so, and she was like 30 minutes late. I charged her. So she paid for the sew-in, she paid for the late fee, she tipped, and she bought quite a few products, right? And hair products and just supplies and stuff out of the boutique. So yeah, because I am doing you a favor coming in and so you're coming from out of town, but that's neither here nor there. So anywho, I did charge her, and she had no problem with it at all. And she still tipped. She didn't have an attitude. She didn't say, "Oh, well, I'm not going to tip her." No, she did well, and she paid the fee, and she bought products, and she bought supplies, and she paid for her services. No questions, no problem. I like her. She can come back. Let's give it up for her. And so those are the type of people that we want to attract to us, right? We don't want people who squabble about money. We all want to watch our coins. We want to be mindful of our clients' money, but at the same time is money. And so we're charging, I should say. And as even myself, as a when I'm getting services done, I am paying for someone's expertise. I'm paying for their professional knowledge. I'm paying for their time. I'm paying for all of these things, right? There's their supplies, their products, the things that they use, because I want to make sure I want someone using top of the line or, and quality products. I don't want cheap stuff in my hair, on my face, or my body or whatever. So I'm going to pay for those things, right? And so, you've heard the old adage, you get what you pay for. And I think the same is true for beauty professionals who take on clients or customers rather, who are cheap. I'm sorry. I couldn't put it any differently. I'm sorry. I don't know. I couldn't put it any differently. What do I mean by that? I mean, people who are like penny pinchers, who are scrunching up their face or hesitant when you say something to them, or especially those who add on a service and they think, I don't know if they thought it was free or you doing it for added goodwill or the kindness of your heart, but it's like, no, this is a charge. And like I said in the previous post, we compromise so much as beauty professionals, right? As grooming professionals, we compromise so much when people are late, when they ask for more services than what they originally needed. So it kind of maybe throws your time off, or maybe sets you back a little. We compromise so much. Maybe we did an extra treatment on them, but we didn't charge them for that, or we didn't charge them the full price. And it's an expensive product that we're using, and we're just kind of afraid to sometimes say, "Hey, I used this extra product on you today," or "I noticed you had this going on, or I know you requested this, and so this is the extra charge for that." I personally like to break everything down. I like to not only have a client card that they have when they come in. If they're a new person, I have my COVID waiver typically, and I also get out an index card and I actually put their name, the date, and everything that they talked about, or any concerns I have about their hair, anything new they've done, any new products reviews, what have you. And so that on that same card, I will also put down, and this keeps me on point, because have you ever done a client or a customer's hair, what have you, or whatever services that you provide, and maybe you did some add-ons and you forgot to charge someone for the add-on, and then it's like you hate to go back and say, "Hey, I forgot to charge you for your trim, or I forgot to charge you for your color, I forgot to charge you for your brow pencil," or whatever you have. And so this helps. This index card helps keep me on track, because now I know I gave them an Olaplex treatment, I gave them a press, a new client silk press, I gave them a trim, and they needed some great coverage around the perimeter. All of those are separate costs. Everything is a la carte. So that helps keep me in order. And also what it does is now I'm not just throwing out a number, right? I did that one time. I got off. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was tired. A long service. She got way more than what she initially asked me for. And so I was just like, "Here's the number." I was like, I tried to tally it up, didn't charge her anywhere near what I should have charged her for, as long as we were together. We were together like 8 hours. And so I gave her the number, and she was like, "Oh, I never paid this much for my real hair before." Ma'am, ma'am. So I gave you a number, a ballpark number, over the phone and in person during our consultation. And then I only charged her like $50 more. I mean, it should have been hundreds of dollars more than what it was. But I didn't do that to her. And again, that was me feeling like, "Oh, that's not what we talked about." But we didn't talk about keeping me that long either. So again, trade-off: time, money, products, all of that. So that's me taking a loss as a learning experience, to not let people push you into doing something that you weren't planning on doing, that you didn't discuss. Moving on. So, but my point about the story, or why I'm bringing that up, is because I did not break it down to her. Like, we did this, then we went back and did another lightning process, and then this and this. So I gave her the number, which was only $50 more than we talked about, and she seemed like she had an attitude about it, and then had the nerve to text me about it the next day, or inbox me. When I tell you, this is why keeping good notes is so important. I ran it all down for her, from the very beginning, from when we first started communicating. So thankfully, I don't have people like that, but guess what? She can never come back to me again. So actually, this story ties in more than one way. It ties in because of pricing, and it ties in because of when to fire a client or a customer. And this is a time when you're getting fired because you didn't respect my pricing, you didn't respect the consultation, you didn't respect my menu that I have posted publicly for you to view. You didn't respect anything. So therefore, we are not a good fit for one another. And so I want you all to try to take some of the stress out of your life. And I think a lot of times we bring on other people's stresses, right? Now, I'm not to say that we don't give our stresses sometimes as well, and have conversations about our personal life, or what we're going through with business or whatever. And sometimes people ask us, but what I'm saying is, normally we're the therapists. We're taking on so much of what people are bringing into us. And so for that reason, we want to make sure that we are not taking on additional baggage that we don't need, i.e. someone saying or having an issue with your pricing, right? Or the fact that you have guidelines for no-shows or cancellations. Another quick example, I have a lady who this happened a few years back. She was coming to me for years. I used to do all her custom blonding. She got tired of having to get her roots done so much with color. And so because, growing quite fast. So she just started to grow her hair out. It is a beautiful, beautiful, like gray, like white. And it's beautiful. And we started to grow out so long, and we just press her hair and just condition it and all that good stuff, keep it trimmed. Well, she couldn't come in one day. And so I feel like it's like my lighting is not as bright here. She couldn't come in one day. Well, she couldn't come in one day. And so, sorry, I was fixing, I went out of my video by mistake. I was trying to see what was going on with my lighting. But anyway, she couldn't come in one day. And so, let's just bring this closer. She couldn't come in one day. And so, and I'm sure she's canceled in the past. There's no way that this was her first time canceling, right? Well, I told her it was going to be a cancellation fee. Do you know she's never been back to me? Oh, that's my ankle bruise. I was like, what is tickling my ankle? Do you know she's never been back to me? Now I still do her best friend, one of her good friends here. And so she's like, oh, this is the second time the lady has mentioned to me, oh, she said she should come back to you. Come back to who? She not come back to me. Because you didn't respect my business. You didn't respect that because you canceled at the last minute. I now have an open spot that I'm not going to make money in, that I could have made money in, that could have been for someone else. She didn't respect the business. So therefore, now she's fired. She fired me because she never came back and she didn't pay me the money. But you think you're going to come back years later, wish you well, send my blessings, won't be doing your hair because you didn't respect my business. So unless she wants to talk about paying me my money from before, we have nothing to talk about. So that will be another time. I don't know when this part's getting on my nerves. So that's why I keep playing with this hair. It needs a little product in it, maybe. I don't know. Normally it doesn't. So, but it's acting kind of wonky today. But we're moving on. So we're talking about boundaries. So will you start implementing, because you see a lot of TikToks and interesting little posts, and it's like comedic, right? And it's funny, but it's real, like it's coming from a real place. So with that being said, do you plan on implementing some boundaries into your business, right? Boundaries, guidelines, meaning will you have a late fee? Will you have a no-show fee? Will you have a late cancellation fee? Share with me, share with the platform, share with Diva Styles TV, what you plan on doing going forward to, encourage others to respect your business, and for you to respect your business more, respect your own time and energy and finances. All right. So at this point, I want to just kind of ask you, like, not only boundaries and what you plan on implementing and guidelines and regulations and such, but do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like it's not a point in even doing this, right? Because why turn people away? My goal is to make money. I'm not trying to make enemies. I'm just starting out. What are your thoughts on the situation? Do you agree or do you not disagree? Will you implement something like this or will you not? Maybe you have some guidelines in place. Will you make those even more streamlined? Share with us some examples of why you would, what scenarios you've encountered that are now encouraging you to want to implement or tweak the guidelines and regulations that you already have. Okay, and then the last thing would be, what's a no-go for, because I told you I want to keep this like 20, 30 minutes, like 20 to 30 minutes for 18 minutes, something like about 30 minutes. What would be a no-go for you? Share with us on TikTok or Facebook or IG or YouTube. Share with us what's a no-go for you. Why? Give us some examples of when you just cut the cord. You're like, I'm done, right? And then also share how many times you gave that client. Was it a one and done? Was it something that was a habitual thing that went on for months or years or weeks? Or maybe you've been scared to up until this point, and hopefully we're giving you some courage to now fire clients, right? Don't just accept what people give you. I know you've heard before, teach people how to treat you, right? So that's what we're doing. We're teaching people how to treat us, and we're doing that by having some boundaries. It's the same thing in relationships when you're dating someone. Oops. It's the same thing in relationships when you're dating someone. You're not going to sit there and just let them treat you any kind of way. And if you do, hopefully you won't going forward. But I want you to make a list, put it on your phone, put it on your notepad. Man, I told you I'm having to be the beauty person as well. Like, right? Like, so right now, since I'm talking about it, since I'm over here making all this noise and putting on lip gloss, let's just put a little bit of hairspray for this flyaways, right? I'm sure I'm going to regret that later on because of the alcohol that's probably in it. But we are going to add a little bit more gloss. But share with us some scenarios, right? And of things that have happened so that this can also help other people. There are some people who have not been doing this for 16 years or haven't been doing this for 10 years or 5 years or 7 years that are just getting started. And I don't want them to get frustrated. I don't want them to get burned out. Let's encourage them. Let's have them help them set up their business in a way that's going to benefit them and their clients, that's going to attract the right people to them, that can help grow their business and keep them, give them some longevity, right? So share that with us. What are some no-goes for you? What are your boundaries? When is a time when you're saying, no, this is a no for me. I can never do business with this person again. I don't want them in my chair. And so we talked about that. And then lastly, let's end on a note, right? Because firing clients, that sounds like so like that nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to have those situations, right? But stylists get fired, masseuses get fired, brow techs get fired, barbers get fired. We get fired all the time. How do we get fired, may you ask? The person doesn't come back. They may have even liked you. I've had people say, oh my gosh, I love my hair. I can't wait to come back and see you again. And I don't see them again. Now, part of that could be also, I don't reach back out to them. I really don't. So that's me. That's a point for me to have to reach out and put implementations in place and systems in place to where I'm reaching back out. Style C is kind of okay with that. I think sometimes I don't know how they're doing it now, but sometimes they'll send reminders out to people so that they can rebook with you. But you can't trust those platforms. I'm a living witness. My DBA Styles page, you can't even see it. Like 417 reviews, and I thought it was more than that actually. You can't see. It's not even, most of the time, it's not even recommending me. People are like, I can't even find that page. So I have a Diva Styles 2 page for the second salon space that I've been just using for both spaces. So you can't just depend on platforms. So you have to also reach back out and say, hey, haven't seen you in a while. You know, they may have lost your number. They may have forgotten your name, forgot your business name, right? So yeah, but right now we're going to talk about some interesting things. This is a magazine that I got. I don't even know when this came, but I think it came recently. It was in my computer bag. So, but look how pretty that is. I love style. This is the beginning of this is the magazine. Again, it might not even be the most recent one. I think it is, but I'm not for certain. I think I have another one at home. So this one says Fashion's New Moves, the Power of Performance, and something about Winona Ryder. But this is Tessa Thompson. It says Tessa Thompson takes charge. And so this is mainly about hair, but so why is she showing me a fashion magazine? Because I love fashion. You know, I've never thrown away a Vogue. I've never thrown away a Bazaar. And so I just want to kind of like look and let's find out together what is in season or what they're talking about in fashion, in hair, maybe if we can find it in a timely manner. I love it. They're showing some nice representation in here. We have some representation going on. Look at that. Okay, Questlove. Okay. I thought that was black art. Yeah. More representation. Beautiful. So anywho, let's see what else we can find. We got some more of this Tessa. Beautiful. Don't want to leave y'all out, YouTube. So blazers. Anyone that knows me personally knows I love blazers. And look at the little kitten heels. It's funny because I had some kitten slides on yesterday. But my heel was a little bit higher than that, but it's a kitten heel. Look at nice little slide on. So that is what they're talking about in style. Almost like a block, like a chunky. Yep, it is. It's a boxy silhouette. So it says balance out the boxy silhouette with a pair of pointed kitten heel pumps. All right, so the suits. Look at the black and the camel. Ooh, yes. We need more suits in our lives, don't we? So, and then let's see if we can find anything. Look at Miss. Look at Miss Zendaya. Give it to him, honey. Give it to him in the emeralds. You can't go wrong with emeralds, honey. Who is it?
It's me.
What do you need?